Hey, good Thursday morning. Beautiful gray day. I love it. Let's take a moment for ourselves. Take that minute. Go to your breath. Close your eyes. See what you find. There's a couple of things you can help yourself with when you go into a centering mode like this is to repeat the Soham mantra. So as soon as the eyes close, sometimes the thoughts just rush in. I mean, it just happens to everyone. If you have another mantra, you can certainly use that. Soham is very easy on the mind, and it's used throughout yoga practices. Just gently open your eyes and know that, even in these short little meditations, I just call them centerings because that's what they are, but they really are a short meditation. And over the years, students have asked their teachers, what am I supposed to experience, during these things? And the teacher always says nothing. So some people or students will say, oh, I see lights, I hear sounds, I see different colors. The problem can be that that is a distraction in itself. That's still the outside world kind of coming into your world. So if you experience nothing, you're doing good. So I just thought I would pass that along. I experienced nothing. All right. Let's bring your hands to your heart center and press the palms together, extend those elbows. And then bring the fingertips forward. And think of opening the back and just opening the whole shoulder area. Everything is spiritual. I actually had, well, let's go back to relaxation again here. I actually had someone refer to my classes as being very physical. And that is very true. But everything that we do, whether it's physical or emotional or anything that we do within our household or within our life is viewed as spiritual. So nothing is excluded. So it's probably some of the things we might talk about at that yoga study too, but it was just kind of on my mind right now. So I thought I would just pass that along. So, even though this is a physical practice, so let's begin again, forward. This, what you're doing, how you are moving your body today, you're moving it within that spiritual concept. And that's what makes, this practice so wonderful and so beautiful. So just reach forward and then open up back. Exhale forward, inhale back. So you all know that. And then when we match it with the breath, as we always do, it makes that connection to that higher power as well, because now we're using the total mind, body, spirit complex, which, so much during our lives, we avoid that connection, to the body. We put ourselves on autopilot, right? We all do that. But this gives us a chance to change our practice, change our lifestyle in something much more conscious. All right, hands to the heart center. and then prayer flow. So now if you think about bringing the energy, from, your center chakra and then out into the world, there's a new word. I've never really been familiar with the word toroid. You might want to Google it and see some images of it, but it's like a continuous wheel in a sphere fashion. And I'm starting to understand that the chakras could be toroidal. So you do a little study on that, see what you come up with. Okay, all right, drop your forehead to your fingertips and relax the shoulders, open up the back. And then go right into prayer twist. So exhaling and inhaling and switching sides. So on your own. All right, come back to your center. Keep your relaxation a little bit deeper. Soften the shoulders and the arms and the neck and the head again. Take a nice deep breath. All right, now spread the legs just a little bit and then right elbow to on the knee and then open the arms. And then back to center and switch. It's another one of my really simple favorite little movements of the body. It involves so much and so simple. Maybe it just does wonders for the whole length of the spine, especially if you're looking up. Well, you can look down too. If there's any pain or obstruction in the neck or whatever, you can always check in with, the lower hand instead of the upper hand, kind of see. In fact, give it a try. Just look at the lower hand instead for these next few cycles and just determine how different that feels. Maybe that's exactly what you needed. And all of this is experiment. All right, so balance yourselves, come back to center. And another little thing my teacher always used to say is that you're investigators. There was another term he used, and it's still not coming to me, but it's like your CIA agents, but with your own body and mind. It's a really cool concept to think of yourself that way. So let's spread the legs a little bit wider. Bring the hands down to the floor. Another really good one. Flatten the back. And think of elongating the spine, head toward the opposite wall. And just breathe here. Then interlace behind the hips. Stay in that half fold and roll the shoulders back. Bring your hands down closer to the hips or the buttocks. And then lift the hands off the hips. Just roll the shoulders. Now come back to seated. Go right into prayer flow. And just release out of that. Let's come off of your chairs for now. I'd like to go through a little bit of what I do every single morning. And it's very simple. I start lying on my back, and it feels really good because I do this first thing in the morning. And coming out of bed, lying on a hard floor actually feels really good. So I get everything kind of balanced, my hips, my shoulders. I keep my neck nice and relaxed, rock it, side to side a couple times just to get any kinks out from the night before. And I get myself in a really nice, comfortable position. And flex your whole right leg from, tighten the buttocks, go all the way down to the heel, point your toes up, and then just lift that leg up. Oh, what is that, 6 inches? Hold it there. And we're going to lower that leg and totally relax it each time. That's the important part, is relaxing all the muscles. So let's do it again. Tighten from hip to heel, lift, hold it there. And lower and let go. We'll do that one more time. So make sure you're totally relaxed, then tighten and lift. And make sure your breath is flowing, of course. And then relax it and let it go. All right, shift to the left, do the same thing, hip to heel, lift it and hold. And relax that. Always want to shake it out in between. And then get ready for the tension and lift. There's many times if you go too fast during your asanas, you're missing the information that they're giving you. When you rush too much and you don't relax, you go from pose to, there's a time for pose to pose to pose. There's also a time for this to listen. So one more time, because it's these kinds of slower movements that when you go into the flowing movements, you're already primed to listen. But that takes quite a while. Relax that leg, shake it all out. Take some nice deep breaths. So we're going to do the same thing with the leg, adducting the leg. So it's going to go out to the side. So your leg is off the floor. So go to the right leg again, tense the whole thing, lift it up, and bring it out to the side and then back in. And we're going to work that a little bit first by bringing it in and out several times. So the legs in tension. All right, bring it in and relax it. Okay, let's do the other side. So tense it and bring it out several times, out and in. So this work of adducting the hip area keeps arthritis at bay in that part of the body. It's not going to eliminate it, but it can reduce it. All right, relax that leg, shake both of them out. So the next thing is we'll adduct the legs and hold it into that outer position. So tense the right leg, lift, adduct it, open it up and hold it there. Keep the leg nice and strong. Toes are up, heel is pressed, away from you. And the whole buttocks to the heel is tight. And breathe, of course. All right, bring it back, relax it. Go to the left, same thing. All right, bring that leg in and now relax both legs. So they should feel pretty well warmed up and worked out a little bit, even just with that little bit. So rest. And then now roll onto your tummies. And we're going to sort of do the same thing and stay up on your elbows if you want. So start with the right leg and keep the leg pointed and lift it up a little bit. So the whole right leg from hip to toe is tight. So I think last week or so we worked on this before, but we worked with relaxing the opposite side that we were working with. So you can add that component in as well. All right, relax the right leg. And go to the left. So everything's tight, hip to toes, lift just a little. If you go too much and it hurts your back, lower it. All right, then lower that leg and just rest everything. While we're here, we'll work on locust. So press your chin to the floor and one palm under each thigh, lift both of your legs. Now what you can do is use your fingertips to lift the legs up higher. All right, lower the legs. Take a quick child's pose. And then come up, stand on your knees, and we'll play a little bit with that modified camel again. So tucking just the right toes and right to right. And left arm up and over. So I believe it was Tuesday that we played with a little bit of variations of this. So do any variation you wish. You can just leave your hand rested. You can bring it forward, up, or all the way back, or try all those versions. They're very nice. Some days you might not want to go this deep into camel. Your body might be saying something else. Just rest into it. It's okay. I had a day like that yesterday. It was like I knew I had to do something, but I didn't want to do much. Switch to the other side. Today my energy is completely different, and I just go with it. So that's the beauty of all the asanas. is don't feel like you ever have to perform. You have to listen. Go to the other side. Try it again. And then switch again. And then that's what makes a personal practice. That's the personal part of personal practice. So this is, pretty much what I do. So I bring both my hands to the floor, tuck my toes, and just come into just a simple down dog, nothing dramatic. My feet are flat. I kind of press my hips up to stretch everything out because this is what I do, at 7 in the morning. And then I give the good stretch to the back of my legs. I walk forward because I'm still maybe a little grumpy or whatever. And then come to just a simple forward fold. I'm not really grumpy in the morning. And then I roll up and go right into a back bend. Very simple. Just stretch everything out, bring my shoulders back. Sometimes if my neck is hurting a bit, I have to tuck my chin instead. And then an overhead stretch, I bring it all up. I lift the energy up. I root my feet. I feel very grounded, especially since I'm, watching the weather outside the window opposite me, and reach another little back bend. And then back just to standing. So to finish that little practice out, I come back onto the floor and I start my moving yoga. And it's all very simple. So my knees are bent, arms out at a T, and I just bring legs, right and left. Bent knees. So I get a little bit of twisting in, turning the head opposite the knees. And I might get in about, 10 of these on each side. I never count. I just kind of go with the feel of it. And if I notice that, shoulders might be bothering me that day or neck, something like that, I start adding the arms. So it's very individualized, suited to my needs that, could be, very similar to your needs. But it's all a very fun to experiment with, all the knowledge that you know of asana to make it work for you, to make a beautiful practice. All right, it's probably about enough. And then fully relax. Not necessarily done, but sometimes this is exactly where I am. So it's just a very few minutes. And then roll up, to your left. And I usually just come to standing. And then this is when I assess. So if I assess that, everything is moving pretty darn good, I go into my prayers and meditation and I'm done for the morning. If there's something else that needs a little tweaking, I like to kind of, and I think we did this, was it Tuesday or last week? You hang onto the frame of the window or door and you put your hip, perpendicular to the window, and then you spin away from the door or window. So, or anything you can kind of hang on to, just a bookcase or whatever. You just kind of open the chest and work the shoulder and the neck. And then my other one that I really like is I twist my body away from the window, door, whatever, and then I tuck my chin to the armpit. So we do this all the time, right? So I've added this into shoulder traps, the pecs, into that kind of a upper body modality stretch, and really reach it out. We'll see if that works for you, and just relax out of that, and you just go right to the other side. So you generally just start with a simple twist away from the door window, and just twist away from it. And I do that several times, and then I tuck the chin to the armpit and just hold it there. And you can either hold it or let it go, see kind of what feels best for you. Just work with it a little bit. I think with the past year and a half that the world has been dealing with the pandemic and all the stress that came along with that, that there's a lot of this upper neck, shoulder, chest issue, rather than it used to be a little bit lower when we were maybe working or a different area of stressors in the world. So this is kind of a nice one to eliminate that neck and shoulder. Okay, so now reassess. See how you feel. And really take stock in from head to toe, literally. Scan the body just like we do when we're lying down in Shavasana. Do the same thing. Get used to doing that all the time. Scan, scan, scan. It's all part of spirituality. It's all practice. It's all dealing with the mind and self. Then, depending on the day, I used to do sun salutations all the time, and I got away from it a little bit. But we'll do that today. We'll do our three. So come to your heart and forward, up and back, and forward, fold. So here's our flow. So we go through this flow and we're still highly aware of each posture, each movement, how it affects your body. Your body is that vessel. We were raised with, at least I was, with, your body is a temple. And it's very, very true. More true than we realize. Left forward, come into your lunge. Forward fold. And come up. And come to the heart. All right, so that's one. Do two more on your own. Any version of lunge you want. Try them all if you want. You can always end one before you start the second one, the breath in between. Take a moment. I'd like to work a little bit with lunge variation. So crescent lunge is if you step your right foot back, you keep your toes really taut. So you're not flattening your foot out like you do in triangle or where your toes are tucked and then you come up. So the front knee is nicely bent. Let's try the other side. All right. Forward fold. Let's take a little rest here. All right, inhale up and come back to the heart. All right, we'll do that crescent lunge again, except this time arms are going to be overhead. So keep this leg nicely bent, arms all the way up. Now, if you want, you can start creating a back bend. So this will aid you in the more advanced levels of sun salutations on Monday night. And then come out of that. Try the other side. Right. Release it, forward fold. Let it all let go. All right, come up, overhead. And centers and release. See what you think. So our next one we'll practice is going to be the modified half moon pose, strength and balance. So it's a perfect prep for that. So to go into it, right hand on the chair, extend the left leg. And then start bringing that left arm. You can start by looking down and then begin to look up. Now, when you come out of this, one thing at a time, lower your hand first, then your leg, and then switch. So then leg comes up first, it's established. Bring your arm up. Take your time with it, don't pop it up quick. And then look down and then up. Right arm and then leg. All right, take a forward fold. And roll back up. We'll do a little variation of that. So switch to the other side. So right hand to the chair, left leg out. And before you bring your arm up, just rest it along the body, along the leg. Just right here, just get this far. Now watch yourself bend the left knee and then hang on to your pant leg or your ankle. Just stay right there. Now look down and start to look up. And then look down and come out of the posture. All right, let's go right to the other side. So do it real systematic. Just rest your arm along the body first. And then try the variation. And look down first and then come up. That's the best way for not tipping. Take a forward fold, relax everything. And then walk to down dog and stretch it all out. And take a step forward, come into chair. And release out of that. Just come to stand. Yeah, a little bit more of standing stuff. If you would use the back of your chair. balance, strength, and flexibility in this next part. So make sure you're not tipping at all. You don't want to teach yourself to tip. So you have one hand on your chair, and then the opposite knee, just give it a bend and hug it. So I got my right hand on the chair and my left knee bent. Now hang on to the left toes. Straighten it forward. Out to the side. And forward. Bend the knee, hug it. And let it go. All right, other side. So hug first. Hang on to the toes, get set, and then forward. And out to the side. And then bring it forward. And bend it. Hug it. And release it. All right, turn your chairs around again. And we'll work with modified dolphin. So when you're ready, your forearms up to the elbows are on the seat of your chair. And then you walk back just to a comfortable distance. And just simply look forward. Now, push away from that, come to a forward fold on the floor. And then to seated. So come into easy pose. Line it all up. Sit as straight and as still as you can. It feels so wonderful. Okay. Move into extending your legs forward, toes up. Both hands on the floor. Doesn't matter where they are, line them up. Everybody's arms are a different length, just so your palms are flat. The toes are up, palms flat, staff pose. So try to get that little bend out of the low back. So you'll feel it here in the crease. staff pose I always found rather difficult to hold for any length of time. So this is one of those things like if somebody watches you doing this, they think you're doing nothing, but I think we know better. So everything is in tension. Your legs are tense, ankles, feet, toes, everything. Torso is soft. Arms are soft. Right now, just relax out of it. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay, give your right knee a bend. Bring it heel in. Keep the left leg straight forward and just give the right one a good hug. And then shift off the chest and hang on to the left foot. So now you have to walk your right foot out so that knee and heel, not knee and heel, knee and ankle line up. Things to work with, things to ponder. Level your shoulders to the floor. So we're still up high, we haven't gone down yet. So do some adjusting, do some correcting first. Now wrap your arm in front of the shin and let your hand just rest on the thigh. So you're still, the chest is still raised, looking forward. And now start to lower. Oh, that feels good. Come up very gently to the body. Stretch that leg out. All right, go back to staff. It's a little easier. Let's tuck the left. Hang on to the right. Walk your foot out, balance the shoulders. What's nice about the monitors is you can watch your imbalances. The problem with the monitors is that you get dependent on the monitor. So, once you have a good feel of what is level for your body, then look away and don't watch, and then take a peek and see how accurate you are. So you can do that. That's why there's no mirrors in yoga studios. It's for that exact reason, because you need to feel it rather than just watch it. So once you're here, wrap it around the shin and then start to lower. And just see how enjoyable this posture can be once we've worked with all the other parts of the body. Going into something this contracted can actually be very comfortable. All right, come on out, go back to staff. It's easier and easier. All right, relax out of that. Let's do this today. We used to do this in the live in the studio. Grab your chair, keep the seat of it toward you. And we'll do bridge pose, the chair version. We haven't done that in a while. It's kind of fun. It's attempting getting close to an inversion, a really safe, easy one. So if you want to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, get your hips really close to the seat of the chair. If you don't, then push the hips away a little bit. So the best way I have found to get deep into this pose is to get the bottoms of your feet on the edge of the chair. So get situated, make sure nothing's twinging or hurting or whatever. Take a couple nice breaths. And then assess the neck and shoulders. See where you're at. We did a lot of work on it, so they should be pretty flexible and open. But take a moment to check in again. Keep it very soft as you lift your hips. Very soft neck. When we go into inversions like this, the reduction of gravity on the internal organs gives them a rest. So this is the health benefit for something like this. So now they're not feeling that constant force of down. Now this is resting, either neutral or slightly upwards. And blood flows towards the heart. All right, lower your hips and hug your knees if you want. And the variation of this would be to lift a leg. So we'll bring the hips up again and lift one leg up. Go anywhere you want, straight up, extend it. Or point it, toward the back of the chair, any way you want. All right, let's try the other leg. So if having your hips really close to the chair, if this is too much, then just slide your hips away from the chair and try this variation. It'll make it a little easier. All right, feet back to the chair. Lift the hips up as high as they're able to go. And lower. So we'll go into Shavasana in this style with our lower legs on the seat of the chair. It's a beautiful way to rest. And to take care of your backs, do some pelvic tilts. Press down, exhale, inhale, let it pop up gently. Don't ever press it up. Let it pop up on its own. Maybe 12, 15 times. And then go to complete stillness. Relax the head and neck, shoulders, arms, palms, fingertips. Relax the chest and back, belly, mid-back, lower abdominal, low back. Relax the thighs and knees, lower ankles, feet, every single toe. Just still. Catch a hold of the breath. Just pay attention to it. You might want to try the so hum. So hum is a very universal mantra in Hatha yoga, in meditation, in pranayama. We use it in all those limbs of yoga. And all it means is, well, first of all, it's just the natural rhythm of the breath. But the more literal meaning is, I am that. So that brings you more into the esoteric subtleness of mind work. And we'll talk a little bit about that exactly in the lecture that we're going to come up with on Sunday, the July 18th. So we'll go more into those subtleties. So relax a little bit deeper. Make sure the eyes are soft, mouth, and forehead. And then gently have your knees roll to your side, come to seated. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.